Oh, 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 oh. All right, we're live. Thanks for joining. Hit the like button, subscribe, tap the screen, join in on the chat. It is a scorcher, an absolute scorcher over here. Holy moly. The air conditioner saga continues, and today is the motivating factor. It's going back to Costco tonight. Holy crap. I am sitting in the stream room in my attic. My air conditioner that I bought from Costco stopped working. It was like 2 weeks old. I got it out of the attic. I got it downstairs, so it's ready to go. And today, man, this is the motivation. It's probably 95 degrees out. I'm in the top story of my house, and it's probably 100, maybe a little more. I got my computer cooking me up in here, but we're gonna push through because today is the last FOMC minutes from Chairman Powell, and it's gonna be actually probably gonna be an interesting one. A lot has happened since then. That's gonna be important context. Now we do have 50 minutes until those notes are released, so we got some time. I wasn't gonna go early. I wasn't going to go live until like 1:30-ish, but I went live early because, man, I just need distraction. If I go downstairs, it's a great temperature, feels amazing, but it's just going to make me not want to come back up here. So, distract me, boys. Distract me. Tom needs AC. That's right. Oh, dude, the PC fans. I wonder what the temperature is on my PC, even though it's not really doing much. 50 Celsius? What's 50 Celsius? 50C, 2F, 122. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. But man, in here, it's heating up, and it just keeps heating up. So we're gonna push through, my friends. So at 2 o'clock live, the notes, we'll go over them. We'll talk about some relevant events, I guess, that have happened since, including maybe the largest PPI print since 22, rising inflation. What else we got? There's a lot. At this point, I think the Fed's going to look to hike. Now, in the notes or in the minutes, we may get some hints that they were already looking at hikes, that they were already considering hikes. If the data, obviously, data dependent, came in, and it came in so hot, so much hotter than they could have expected, it is likely, man, you call ICE. Yeah, I'm going to call ICE. Help ICE, bring buckets. I was actually debating putting like a bucket of like ice water underneath me and put my feet in it. We'll see. If I start dying, I'll still do that. Where was I? There may be hints that they're already looking at a hike. We already have seen the Fed's rhetoric pull back from multiple cuts this year to one cut this year. To what, at the last FOMC, Powell saying if the data shows, or that was the one before maybe, that if the data shows inflation isn't cooling, then we're going to look for possibly a hike. We're going to respond appropriately. Now, Powell is out. I believe Cherwersh is like officially sworn in Friday this week, something like that. But he's out as the Fed chair, so his guidance is lacking going forward. We're going to have to see what kind of Fed chair Warsh is. There are a lot of speculations, a lot of opinions, a lot of ideas on what Warsh may do based on his past, based on his kind of overall ideas when it comes to fiscal policy. But I think we have to face facts here. What we are seeing in the U.S. government right now is loyalty being very highly valued when it comes to these positions, and that loyalty may be reflected through Warsh. And it's possible that Warsh changes his stances and looks for cuts. I don't know. That would be a very strange outcome, considering the state of things at the moment. Oops, that's the wrong chart. The state of things, and when I say the state of things, what I'm referring to, of course, is the state of the 10-year bond. Ooh. Earlier this week, 10-year yields broke out. Every time we have seen the 10-year yield break out over the last year and a half, we have seen, this is facts, guys, I know, politics, we have seen Trump reverse course. every time the 10 years look to break out, we've seen a reverse course on things. The one that comes to mind not recently, but the one that comes to mind, Greenland rhetoric. We saw a spike in the 10-year yield. All of a sudden, we weren't talking about it. There's many examples which I can't think of because my brain is slowly melting inside of my skull right now. But here we are, 10-year yield breaking out. 10-year, I believe it's actually with Japan's yields also breaking out. Earlier this week, our trend line from our 2023 high on the 10-year yield broken for the first time since it was created at the end of 24. So we spent about a year and a half underneath. I'm starting to get alerts. Ooh, but these alerts are not for 10-year yield. We'll get over there in a second. 10-year yield breaking out, I guess, yesterday and now pulled back intraday today. Looks like it's back testing that trend line. This is bad news bears. I tweeted, you can follow me on X at @TomCrown. I tweeted that the Fed is going to hike before they cut. People did not like that. They responded largely with emotions and opinions about how they think the Fed works, how they think interest rate works. It's not an opinion of mine, my friends. It's not what I believe. It's not what I want even. I don't want that to be reality. The Fed doesn't set these yields. The bond market does. The Fed sets like the short-term rate. If they continue to cut into these yields, showing, not just showing, you need to understand the dynamic between bonds being bought and sold and yields. They're not just showing. They are proving that the market does not see inflation under control, and that it does not see it under control in a 2-year time frame, as we've seen this trade to 4%. That's up 25 beeps, suggesting a 25 BPS cut in the next 2 years. Or not cut, sorry, hike in the next 2 years. It really is this simple. Just look at yields. Look at the time frame. And that's what markets are pricing in. It's not like what people feel or want or whatever it is that they think this is. It's what markets are literally putting money on, and putting money in the biggest of liquidity in the US government bonds. The money will be right. The money is always right when it comes to this. I'm not going to jump into the whole dynamic. I'm not going to explain the whole seesaw that is bond prices and yields, but basically look at any yield time frame, and that percent is where the market sees inflation, sees the safe trade. They're not going to trade under inflation. Anyway, there is a chart moving in crypto, and it is my honor and pleasure to have something in crypto pump. We looked at this on Monday. I said, I guess, no, do not log out of streaming. I said it is kind of crazy that something's pumping, and it's still pumping. 𝐂𝐻 gave us a pretty solid signal here, honestly, for the last week or so. 𝐂𝐻's value versus Bitcoin has been in an incredibly bullish pattern. Maybe we can say it started in April of this year. Everyone was paying attention to it at the end of 25 in November when it was blasting off. People were saying, 𝐂𝐻 to a bajillion, it's the new Bitcoin. And then pretty much everybody shut up about it as it retraced. And so far, and now today, it is breaking out. 𝐂𝐻's valuation versus Bitcoin, setting a new high, multi-year high, right now during this live stream. When you zoom out, it does put it into a little more context. 𝐂𝐻 is looking good right now, but has been trading downwards in its value versus Bitcoin since 2016, and it is back to about 2019's value. This is looking really strong. This chart is undeniable. It's one of maybe 3 coins I can think of at all that are gaining value versus Bitcoin during this time frame. We're going to look at the other ones, of course, but 𝐂𝐻's breakout versus Bitcoin right here is painting whatever you want to call it. I'll call it a little handle. A little cuppy handle, and suggesting that it's looking for higher prices. This is something that I just can't ignore. These Bitcoin pairs are so strong, and they're so suggestive of what the USD pairs will do, that they are some of the best trading signals that exist when it comes to the crypto realm. Looking upwards, what do we got? At the 1618, we see about a doubling of 𝐂𝐻's value versus Bitcoin. 1412012. Meaning one 𝐂𝐻 is equal to 0.1 or 0.012 ZEC. You can get that much Bitcoin for 1 ZEC. The breakout here using our FIB tool points to, I'll say, honestly, this doubling. It is very weird and hard to, with a straight face, say this looks like it's going to double. In this market sentiment and the condition we've seen, that's just a bad bet. But it's doing it. It broke the high. We look over at the BTC or the USD pair. We can see it's mirroring it pretty well. Let me see. What was that? A doubling. Where would that put it? 1,200, 1,300 if Bitcoin makes no change. It is still sitting below November's high against USD, and this gives us a pretty solid trading opportunity. We can look for a long position that we just look to close at the high at 750. You can, of course, aim higher. You can do whatever you want with that, but this trade is really suggestive. Now, I would be surprised to see it continue without retracing, but you can see the areas we were looking for the retracement here on ZEC have already happened. It pulled back in earlier this month, filled this long position, and now has it broken that high? It's like retesting the high. I don't know why I have these on Hitbit. That's really annoying. Why is Hitbit the first thing that comes up when you type in ZEC? Here we go. This is crypto. This is an index. This is better. Hitbit, HitBTC, not an exchange I think anyone that can hear my voice uses. Okay, here we go. Even the index aggregating all major exchanges prices for ZEC, we do see in the last 5 minutes it did break higher up to 645. Higher meaning past its high from May. This is looking like a breakout. When you combine, if you were to look at this right now without the Bitcoin pair, I would say it's probably a trap. We've seen things run before, kind of bear market bounces. Typically, they end in a trap. But with the coordination, with the confluence of its Bitcoin pair breaking out meaningfully from this high, I think it's not a bad bet. I don't think it's a terrible trade. I say that. Where is it? I say that, and I've already taken, like right as the stream started, a tiny little position betting on this. I haven't been trading much. Time to throw some trades into the fire here. You know, up 8% or something on this ZEC long. Basically, I'm looking to ride this back 750, 760 November. I should probably just set the take profits and such now. I didn't have time. I got hot brain, man. I'll probably look to close, I'll probably look to close half of this at least at the high. Let me see. Did that set it? Oh, cool. Exchanges have gotten so fancy. You just like click the chart and stuff happens. I really want to close about half of this position though. I'll have to edit that. You know what? I'll just leave it for now. It's time to just lock in W's. I'll say that and then it'll go to all-time high because it's like the first one I'm just going to lock in and not just trim down. But ZEC's looking good. Weirdly, and I don't know why these are doing this, but Dash was looking pretty good as well. ZEC and Dash, for reasons that I'm not aware of, sure, they're both privacy coins, but like, so there's a lot of things. Seem to have run together over the last year or two. Dash is making a similar move. It is up 14% today. ZEC about, I think it was close, against Bitcoin. Now, this doesn't look, I'll say, quite as great as ZEC. That's a clear breakout versus Bitcoin. The chart's a lot simpler. This one doesn't look quite as simple, but it still looks really good. ZEC versus Bitcoin has been in a descending trend. It was actually looking really brutal here potentially as our lows were just being slammed. Support was being tested and eaten up. But with today's candle, provided it doesn't get mega nuked by the end of the day, which is always possible, it's in a clear uptrend. Higher low, higher high, higher low. Looking for a breakout. These are the two charts I'm watching in this exact moment. There is one more though. We've talked about all of these recently, so yeah, if you've been watching the stream, you already know. You're already in the know. If you haven't been, welcome. Where have you been? You haven't been watching the streams. There's one more that's actually more impressive than both 𝐂𝐸 and Dash right now. Remember, we're talking about charts. I don't know crap about these coins for the most part. Here we are. Hype BTC. Hype. I know so little about hype, but apparently the chart's hype right now. Trading at all-time highs. We talked about this. We've talked about it a lot over the last few weeks, but we even talked about it Monday when it was trading just below its all-time high. I said, when this breaks, or if this breaks, that's probably a strong signal to look for a long position and a return for hype to go back to all-time high against the USD. Crazy thoughts. Crazy thoughts. Why is this happening? I honestly do not know. It is not really characteristic of the part or the cycle, the segment of the market that we're in right now. But here we are. Hype is having a clear breakout, trading at 67. This is an equation chart. It's not actually traded. It's dividing hype by value, or by Bitcoin's value, to get the same hype BTC. Up to the 1618 extension here locally, we're looking at about a 3% gain against Bitcoin, on top of, what is it today already? Some juicy gains. Where's the bar change values? Here we go. Top of a 7% today. The measured move target, about 15% gain. Now, that alone is interesting and exciting. But let's look at the dollar pair. Hype USD is in a similar position to 𝐂𝐸 in the sense of it set this high back over a year ago. It retraced. It didn't fully retrace to its previous low, so it held a higher low. And now it's gunning back for that recent high. $58 looks pretty clean here for this move. It's about a 20% move for hype back to its all-time high. Oh, wait, no, I think that was wrong. 12%. All right, so that 1618 extension probably suggests like back to the all-time high. But with something like this, maybe we have to look higher. Maybe these are too low. It's really easy for me, especially, to get caught up in being kind of lowballing, right? The market hasn't given us any reason to be looking for high prices here in the crypto market over the last year. Whatever time you even want to call. Just hasn't been giving us much. Yo, how do you find good coins, bro? That's a great question. Right now, and I don't know anything about these coins. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just looking at their charts. These charts are fire. 𝐂𝐸, Dash, and hype. I own like maybe between all of them like $1,000. Like just such a small, meaningless percent. I don't have that much skin in them, but they are looking like their charts are just diverging from the pack. They're playing strong. I don't know what else to say, man. Chipcoin? Chipcoin. What's a chipcoin? Hype the new soul? I hope not, because that means it'll just leave a bunch of people bag holding. Hype is like 23% outperforming Bitcoin. It is trucking, bros. Absolute trucking. If you look, I mean, obviously, if you cherry pick the dates. Oh. From the low in May, just this month, to today. 40% against Bitcoin since that low. On a pretty clean backtest of the previous high, right? Pretty clean breakout. Come on, chair. I changed the chairs up. I got the good chair upstairs. Just in time to sweat all over it. My hips are still killing me. But hype's looking, it looks like it has more room. Not looking for infinite room. Not looking for up only forever, but my lord. What's going on here? But my lord, you're breaking out. Your value against Bitcoin is at all-time high. What else is there, right? What else could you ask for in a time like this, in a market like this? This ascending trend is obviously worrying. We are getting very close to this ascending trend line that hasn't been tested. Totally possible that it reverses there. For the breakout crazy play, likely going to wait for a pullback from that extension on the Bitcoin pair. Look to back test that trend line. That's the stuff gold is made out of. That's the stuff that dreams are made out of. We saw gold do this 2 years ago. Quickly doubled in price out of nowhere after a similar setup. Basically break of a high trend back test and run. Bump and run. Keeping an eye here. Be careful. Obviously, be careful chasing anything moving. This market has not proven it wants to be bullish or remain bullish. Bitcoin is still largely struggling. Largely struggling. Like, what even is this, man? What's even going on? Bitcoin, I mean, I can tell you what's going on. Bitcoin rejected from the 200-day moving average, it seems. While it still has held the low at 75.7, giving it some kind of glimmer of hope. Not the move we were looking for. As long as Bitcoin sits below the 200-day at this point, down is the direction I'm looking. I hate to do it. I hate looking downward. I don't like shorting Bitcoin. But what else do we do? Just came here to say hi. What's up, brother? Thanks, 𝐒𝐴𝐳. Don't chase waterfalls, Jason. Make final great again. We're going to make the final FOMC minutes great again here in 30 minutes. Wow, it's only been 26 minutes. What's the temperature outside? I'm going to do a little heat check. I should have just brought a thermometer up here. Like, I have a thermometer I could have brought up here. It's currently 90 with a severe thunderstorm watch. It'd be great if it just dumped right now, dropped a bunch of degrees. I'll take that. In 30 minutes, we'll have the final Chairman Powell FOMC minutes. The final 30 minutes. The longest 30 minutes of my life, it feels. That's all right. We'll do this together. I'll survive. Do I think the market will bearish or bullish? Well, what are we talking about? Talking about crypto. Some of these charts, like, dude, 𝐂𝐸. Literally Dash breaking higher against Bitcoin while we're talking about it. Its ears are burning. There we go. I was going to say, I know we had a long around here on 𝐒𝐸. There it is. Along the pullback, aiming for 67. Still so tiny. There we go.
𝐷𝐗𝐶𝐕𝐢𝐿.
Must be another thing here. There it is. Looking good. Dash is breaking out right now. I think I have like half of a Dash somewhere because when I bought Dash like a decade ago, it was like $400, and I was like, that's so expensive. I can't even buy a whole one. I don't want it. I don't know if it was 400, but it was something. It was around here. It's only about like a little bit of it, little piece of it, and now that little piece of it's worth less than a lunch. Wild. Everybody take it off. Go 𝐬𝐸 go. Who is pumping 𝐬𝐸? Like, for real? Like, what is... I just don't know. I just like, is it that capitulated? How is 𝐬𝐸 pumping? Like, how is 𝐬𝐸 about to break like this high from a year and a half ago? Then Saylor's buying $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes down. I wonder what would happen if Saylor bought like $2 billion worth of some other coin on exchange. Did it in a market order, it probably would go like to infinity for a microsecond and then crash down to like nothing. Doge monthly looks insane. Wise Wizard looking at Pixel still. Ondo looking strong. What else looks strong, do you guys think? What's good, chat? The black market. Foreign people hiding their money. I don't know. That's like the narrative. But like, guys, what? Why do they need to hide their money? Like, and you're saying, oh, no, like, I get the value of privacy, but like, why would they need to hide it in, like, say, 𝐬𝐸? Like, they could easily hide it in Bitcoin and just launder it. Just launder it. They could hide it in something else that's more liquidity and like use a mixer. Like, it doesn't. I get kind of what people mean. At least it has like some kind of reality based in it, but I feel like that's just the hype narrative that it's like whales cashing out. They're gonna cash out to dollars, man. They're cash out to dollars. They'll cash out to stable coins. They're not gonna like cash out into, you know, a liquid 𝐬𝐸. I don't know. I don't believe it. Check Solana. Hello, fellow bots. What's up, Dusty? I'm also a bot. Genuinely surprised he isn't buying Bitcoin Cash. I'm not at all surprised he's not buying Bitcoin Cash. Why would he buy Bitcoin Cash? What? Like, what would lead you to think he's going to buy Bitcoin Cash? It's like saying I'm surprised he's not buying Bitcoin BSV. Like, why would that be surprising? Gold doesn't really look good. What am I looking at here? I'm gonna have to get off the this is Solana, but it's Solana on the USD pair. I don't know like how all these weird pairs get caught up. They all track really well until the market gets slow, and then it like actually matters all of a sudden what pair you're on. Let's use Sol USDT on Binance. There we go. That doesn't look good. The thing it has going for it is it didn't lose the low, but like that's a pretty gnarly looking rejection. What Solana needs, what it craves, is it needs a retest of like 96 from here. I'll say from here. It needs to move to 96. Maybe there's a trade there. Maybe the trade from 86 to 96. But it needs to retest 96, and it needs not to break 81. I think that's actually actionable. If it breaks 81 before 96, you're just not in this. You're not in this bullish chart, in this bullish pattern. That's really what you want to see happen. You need more retests of 96. That could be decent. Could be decent. This 3% candle though today or whatever is not cutting it for me yet. Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin does this? What if it floats back up to here for another lower high? And then trickles down. Ugh, it'd just be so boring. Please don't do that. Bots can't see stop loss orders on privacy coins. Agent of Oblivion. What are you talking about, my friend? What? That doesn't make any sense, man. Stop loss orders are on exchange, so the coin has literally doesn't make any impact. It doesn't matter if it's like privacy or not, centralized or like it's on exchange. It doesn't matter if it's a privacy coin. All of the orders are equally, let's say equally visible on exchange. Doesn't matter what the asset is. Really matters more what the exchange is. What exchange is it's on. That's why people have had a lot of gripes with Binance lately. They think Binance is the reason for their misery. Stop calling me, people. So many spam calls, bro. Another crab summer? Yeah, probably. Sell the news incoming. I can see it. Big ass bear flag. Certainly is remarkably like a bear flag. Yes, still is. I mean, really, that hasn't changed. I will say there's no reason to expect this to break to the upside while under the 200-day moving average. This low could be more problematic. It's not strong. It's not great. But it's not terrible. It's still higher than April. The end of April's low before it hit a higher high. Like, you're still holding this uptrend. This is just the bad part, man. Like, we have at this point rejected from the 200-day. We didn't break the lower low. That's likely the trigger of get out of a long. I can see Bitcoin retesting the 200 still though. Like, this wouldn't be that crazy. Then we have like the golden cross on the day coming June 1st, maybe. Go short then? I mean, I do have a short open. Like, yeah, like it's not an emotional opinion thing for me. This is like just me being rational. The 200-day moving average is not that far above. You know, like I'm not saying Bitcoin can't retake the 200-day. It's at 81. I'm not saying it can't retake it. I do have this short open still. It's cooking. But like, it's just like, for me, maybe that's the invalidation of that argument. I don't want to be bearish. I want Bitcoin to go up. I'm a perma-bull. Mo is bullish. But short-term price action just doesn't exist in a perma-bullish reality, right? I wish, I hope. I'm rooting for it. Just go ahead and do it. Just that's it, Bitcoin, right here. Prove us wrong. Prove everything wrong. Prove the whole 4-year cycle low in Q4 of this year or October, November of this year. Prove it wrong. Break the 200-day. Move higher. You can hold the 200-day as support. You can test it if you want. Head back to like 100K. Think we'll hike? I think a hike is more likely than a cut this year. We won't get a hike or a cut today because these are just the minutes for the FOMC. We're 24 minutes away from the notes or the minutes being released. Ooh, my long's starting to cook here on Zach. 652 cooking. Pretty crazy that position's already up 44% from just you guys saw this when we started the stream. This was up, I don't know, like 10% maybe. This trade literally brought to you by just looking at the Bitcoin pair. That's it. This is I'm trading on FEMX here. This is a FEMX trade. You can sign up with FEMX in the video description below. But that's it. I have had not great success with USD pair trades. I'll say in the last year. Like, maybe since the last cycle. But Bitcoin pair is just something to respect. We saw ZEC BTC break out. I told you guys over the last weeks. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a breakout on HYPE BTC, ZEC BTC, whatever. There it is. This is USD, my bad. Look at me being a chump. BTC broke out first. That's when I took the long. It retested it. I took the long. And now the USD pair is following. Boom. Boom. Boom, baby. Feels good to have a W, even if it's just not a very big trade. I'm not going to make tons of money from it. It is so hot. Holy. Should do a poll? What should we pull? Man. It just keeps getting hotter in this room. Am I doing leverage? Yeah. That ZEC long is 10x. The short was also 10x. Oh, man. Let's go tacos. Smoke them if you got them, baby. What's up, One House Productions? You watch 2 ads to get here? Totally worth it. Boo. That's lame. Why is YouTube serving ads? Like, turn monetization off. Why are they serving ads like pre-roll? Don't serve pre-roll. I thought I had pre-rolls disabled. Oof. Wow, guys. Silver by 330. Oh, silver to 330 by 2030. That's possible. Silver and gold, we're not moving too much today. Silver broke lower yesterday. Holding on to 71s technically still, but that's not the move I was hoping for. Wow, boys. I'm so committed to staying for these minutes. I'm so committed. But the body is weak. Snoo. The body is weak. The mind is willing, but the body is weak. Damn, even I'm surprised by that ZEC trade. I didn't think it was gonna pop that hard. Dash is doing the same thing, but Dash I think has more drawdown potential, but also more upside potential. Like ZEC already have the take profit at 750 or whatever, 760. 760, right at the previous high. Let's cook it. We never got a back test of 380. Oh boys. I'm just covered in sweat. Hopefully you can't see it. When flush Dale. Hey Grayson. You asked for when it's not premium. Yeah, honestly, YouTube Premium is one of just the best subscriptions I have. Like, I watch enough YouTube. Makes the experience, it's like better than, I don't know, like Hulu without ads, I feel. Maybe because YouTube serves more ads, so it's doing more. Wow. Wow. 40 minutes. I'm in live 40 minutes. Make it another 20 minutes to these FOMC minutes. I have no idea. What's up for Hoofty? Who else is here? What's up, Alex? Cherry City, Peach, Everlasting Duty, Funky Pine, Grayson, Hendrix, Ian and Andrew, Janix, J Rod, JBH, Mark Pariah, Not Meme, One House, Randy Greer, Super Finance Bro, Tay, Pickle, TJ, Verhoofty. Oh boys. I gotta drink more water. I might get like a bucket of ice and just put my feet in it. I would feel so bad if I didn't cover Chair Powell's final FOMC. What's up, Marius Joseph? Tokyo. What's happening in the world? Good news, I didn't awake to any horrors today. There was no horror. This week has been a pretty brutal week for the, I don't know, the US, the world. Been a pretty brutal week. Hut looking for entry. To the Ice Bucket Challenge. What's up, Sunships, Alexandra, David. What's up, everybody? I don't know. I'm gonna do my best. What's up? Abuzar, my guy. Thanks for subscribing. ABC. ABCD. Subscribed. Zhao. Mandaranth. Neem. Who else is out there? If you haven't subscribed, do it now. I'm sitting here covering ZEC pumping. Bitcoin doing nothing. Hype pumping. The FOMC minutes, hopefully. I'm alive in 15 minutes by the time they're published. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Double tap the screen. Jump in the Discord. Discord.gg/TomCrown. DJ 𝐒𝐫𝐲𝑚 providing the tunes today. The entry was ZBN at 002. I don't even know what that is. ZBN 002. Could be. Nimoy Index. The Nimoy Index is doing pretty good. Nimoy Index has been doing well. It's a good year for Nimoys. Yeah, I'm really starting to feel the heat. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter up here, though. Where are we at now? We are now at 91. So it's increased 1 degree outside, but inside. What's up, Janix? Tupac played at Coachella as a hologram. That could be cool. Nice classes. Thank you, Cars. Appreciate you, man. Ondo Pump, sure. How is Professor Beans doing? She's doing wonderfully. sleeping in the air conditioning downstairs and like crisp 63 degrees. You got 350 ZEC. Ondo pump. All right. More than one person has said Ondo. Check it out. You had 350 ZEC. You bought it $50. Yep. You just decided to sell it. You want to watch any movies? You know, actually, there's one movie I do want to watch. I think it's on like Netflix or Hulu. Chainsaw Man just came out with a movie. Check that out. But no, not in theaters. What's good in theaters or some in theaters? Honda's all right. I'd be looking for Honda to 42.5. 42.5. It's great. No spoilers. No spoilers. It should be good. Honda did not fill the long. You know, it's not a bad move for Honda. It's a nice little pump here. Higher low. This higher low holds, especially if the rest of the market starts following like ZEC and Dash and hype in these moves. Definitely can see a retest of a good bit higher. If I were to open a position today on Ondo, I'd probably look to close it at last week's open. 42.3. Kettlebell workouts. They're great, Tina. They're great. I've actually been considering doing kettlebell workouts because I need to work on my core stuff. I like these questions. Any good finance books? Books are not my medium. Not my medium. Also, it's like 100 and something degrees up here. My brain's a little melted. I'm sure Chad has some good recommendations. Shit, I know like many that people have recommended, but I am struggling to recall those memories right now. The Price of Tomorrow. Sounds badass. Wonder why we're talking about the same coins again. Got sent back to the beginning. Well, twice as nice. ZBCN. The hell's that? Gold? Get like a gold in a minute. Give me a sec. Stop watching movies when they're... Honestly, I don't even perceive movies as woke. They're just boring. The plots are boring. Like in general, movies have just become so dumbed down. So like, just like explaining to you, there hasn't been like a Matrix or like a Donnie Dark. You know, it's just like explaining to you every single thing in like terms that a 2-year-old understands. There's no like intelligence to them. At least the ones I've seen lately. And lately meaning, I don't know, the last decade. They just seem to be dumbed down. Just getting stupider. I'm a smart person. We're smart people. I don't know. I don't like dumb stuff. I don't like things dumbed down. GBCN. This isn't really traded anywhere except for kind of some odd exchanges. Perps. I don't even see it traded spot, so be careful. Perp markets are super vulnerable to manipulation because you don't. Where are the share? What are they? They're just IOUs. An exchange can make them up. Dope Thief is a great show. Let's check it out. What's up, Soul Jiffy? What's up, Chris Pax? Is Bitcoin a good stock? If it was a stock, it'd probably be a good one. Is it Powell or the new guy? So the notes will be from Powell from the last FOMC. Great soundtrack, brings you back to the day. That's right, B. Mookton. Mark Pariah. I need to know about ZB whatever. Probably not. Probably not. But no. I'm glad that you like it. I know that you brought it up before. I'm glad you're printing on it. Mandalorian movie looks good. Yeah. I'll have to find my ZEC. I know I have some ZEC on like Coinbase or something, but it's not like all of my ZEC. It's not even I don't even think it's like half of my ZEC. ZEC is pumping. It's just pumping against Bitcoin. I think it's looking for retests of the highs. I have to see I'm gonna watch it maybe this weekend. 10 minutes for the FOMC minutes. Honestly, I just so badly want to just get up and go downstairs. How's final Powell? Rocks of tissues. Well, these are the minutes from this month. Last month's FOMC. So maybe some tissues. Maybe. I don't know. Are people really are scammers really finding people on chain? I think people who are smart enough to keep their assets on chain and out of the public eye aren't the ones getting scammed. I feel like people on exchange are getting scammed, and people clicking link drainers getting scammed. Privacy doesn't help them with that. Privacy is great. I love privacy. It's one of the major values of crypto. It's one of the most important pillars, fundamentals of cryptocurrency. Privacy. My error doesn't look bad either. It's not breaking out like 𝐒𝐻 and Dash, but it doesn't look bad. Chain keeps having scams. What do you mean? If a chain keeps having scams, I mean, they're definitely no scam is chain specific. I guess malware would be. Scams aren't. They have nothing to do with a chain. What are you talking about, Esp? I'm confused. What's up, Issa? How are you, bro? Wonder if the US government will allow tokens like 𝐒𝐻 to continue to exist. I mean, that's the wonderful thing, Randy, about crypto. It doesn't really matter if they want them. Can't do much about it. All they can do is kind of exclude them from exchanges. But then what? I mean, that's the catch-22 of all crypto is if your government cracks down on it, what happens? Just another government or another place or black market, whatever, pops up and picks up that inefficiency. There's just very little that can be done across a decentralized chain. There's not a lot that governments can do except for close their doors to it. You have to be kind of dumb to get scammed top up it. I mean, certainly dumb people are definitely more likely to get scammed, but scams, especially scams, evolve, right? Scams aren't just one thing. They're not. No, they're not one thing. They're not singular. They're not static. They're extremely dynamic, and that's why they work. Remember the giveaway scams on YouTube? They still exist. Fake Michael Saylor saying send your Bitcoin or whatever. They still exist. People still fall for them. They fall for them less as people become informed and know that that's a scam. But scams operate. They're predatory on desperate people. People who are in bad situations. So it doesn't always have to do, I'm all the way up here. It doesn't always have to do with intelligence. It has to do with the position the person's in. If you're desperate, I don't know, for whatever reason, you have a baby you have to feed, you have all your bills coming due, whatever. There's so many reasons that we can become desperate. The shield that we keep up gets weaker. It's the reason that people fall for things that aren't even just flat out scams, maybe that are more complicated than a flat out scam, rug pull coins, just pump and dumps. They're not a scam in the sense of you just send an individual your money and it's gone, but they're desperate. They need this big gain. They think they're gonna get it and they don't. It comes in all different forms. And I think it is not productive, at least, to say that only stupid people get scammed. I think like I said, they're more likely to be scammed. Desperation plays a big role, but the more money the target has, the more complex the scams can be. Pig butchering became really big. Hopefully, That's slowly going away. I kind of doubt it is, but like the scam of you get a message and it's like a wrong number, and maybe it's an attractive girl who's like, oh well, I guess we can talk, and then they end up like asking you to go to a Bitcoin ATM and buy a bunch of Bitcoin and send it to them. It's like engineering, and as we get as we close our doors to these scams, like maybe the giveaway scams, and we become more resilient to them, new scams emerge. It is an incredibly profitable business. It's incredibly well funded, and they'll just keep changing. They'll keep changing the play up. Yeah, it is like infomercials. They target exhausted people, tired people, naive people. They can be very smart. Current system, and that's a part of it as well, Esp, is the current system doesn't require us to be vigilant. You'll notice that scammers love crypto because they can't just reverse it. It's not like USD, the banks can't just undo it. We're taught that, you make a mistake, you charge it back on your credit card. Not a big deal. Ooh, Now You See Me, a movie where they scam people. They're Robin Hood scamming to pay the poor. Scammin' Hood. Let's make that movie. Scammin' Hood. What's up, Froggy Mania? No matter how desperate you are, you need to be vigilant. Yep. I mean, we can say these things. We can say these things, and I agree with them, right? I agree with them. Yeah. But desperation, like, chips away at it, and it's not an excuse or something. It's just is reality. Best tips, best practices to know you're being scammed, because you typically, the target wants these things to be true. They want the scam to be true because they need the money. They want this hot girl to like them that all of a sudden has appeared in their life, right? They want it to be true. They want it to be that Justin Bieber is messaging them, or Megan Fox. It's really Megan Fox. She really likes me. She likes me because I'm a normal guy. They want it to be true. What was I saying? It doesn't mean we don't have to be vigilant. We do, but we have to acknowledge though that they will just keep coming. They'll keep coming from every angle. We got to, I would say governments really need to do something about it. It needs to be globally cracked down on. I think countries should start going after other countries who allow it. That's my personal thing. Probably, though, those countries are just pocketing the money. What's up, Blue Mountain? How you doing, brother? Social engineering can be incredibly tricky. Your friend's account could get hacked, right? Your best friend's account could be hacked. They could be messaging you through your best friend's account or even phone number or email. And you're like, hey, man, I need money. And you're like, oh, best friend, of course, I'd always help you. And then it's not your best friend. As technology evolves, so do these tools and these weapons. What's up, Bear? 𝐂𝐴 Cyan Ryan, good name. Dark Psy. Dom Manning. Who else is new? Just popped in. Ice on Dust. Autopilot, but you've been here. Michael Ramos. Louise. 2 minutes, thank God. We have 2 minutes. Here we go. 2 minutes until the FOMC notes are released. And you guys have managed to distract me long enough that I didn't end the stream because I'm dying of heat. Well done, fam. Thank you. Our poor parents, man. They're all getting scammed. Even my mom, I've stopped her. Oh, wait. I was talking about the signs of a scam. So we have 1 minute until the FOMC minutes are out. We're going to break them down. Urgency is the number one. It needs to be done right now. It needs to be done this moment. You can't wait. You can't talk to people about it. You can't take time to think about it. It has to be done now. Number one red flag. Anything in the world that wants your money, like the government, the IRS, whatever, none of them will ever put you in a position where you can't go talk to a professional, like a lawyer or something. None of them. Urgency. Obviously, paying only in crypto is getting up there. Just any opportunity that's too good to be true. It sucks that that's reality, but anything that is too good to be true. What, you have this crazy opportunity? We're going to make $1 bajillion in a minute? Probably not. What sucks is In the off chance that there ever is that opportunity ever comes by you, you probably should turn it down. Because it's probably a scam. All right, the FOMC minutes should be out any second. Oof. Don't give a shit anymore anyway. You know, it's hard to give a shit in this day and age. There's so much just manufactured going on in our own, like just looking out for ourselves, that it's really easy to lose empathy. Really easy to lose all empathy. I think it's important that we don't. I understand the feeling though. Break. I'm asking ChatGPT, break down and summarize April's FOMC minutes with the file attached. Let me feed this in there. All right. It's breaking it down. The FOMC minutes are coming at you live right in this moment. Is it out? It just dropped. ChatGPT's best scientists are working on it right now. Scammer payback. I do like people who go after that. It's fun. You remember when anyone actually cared about the FOMC minutes? Same. In the FOMC in general, that the hype has largely faded, but it'll come back here by the end of the year. I know it. So I got the FOMC summary. Developments in financial markets and open market operations. Market reactions to the Middle East conflict. Equity prices recovered strongly. Treasury yields rose modestly, and near-term inflation compensation increased. The U.S. dollar gave back some of its prior gains. Oil and inflation expectations. Crude oil futures curve shifted higher but remained steeply downward sloping, expecting prices to fall later. Near-term inflation expectations rose. Longer-term expectations stayed well anchored at 2%. I wonder if that has changed literally since April. Markets priced in little near-term change to the federal funds rate. As they really, that makes sense. In April, the desk survey showed participants now expecting 2 BPS cuts later, Q3 or 4, or in the end of this year, and maybe one at the start of 27, rather than sooner. So policy expectations were pushed out during the last FOMC meeting. Cuts that were at one point guaranteed or expected even early in this year now being pushed out to the end of the year or even into next year. Conditions remain stable with ample reserves in money markets and balance sheets. Effective federal funds rates stayed very close to the IORB rates. The on-RRP and RSP usage were minimal. Staff reviewed the economic situation. Inflation, the 12-month PCE inflation was at 2.8% in February. Core was at 3%. Staff estimated March figures rose sharply to 3.5, core to 3.2, due to surging energy prices. I just can't beat this horse enough, guys. Energy inflation isn't going anywhere. Let's just start with the Strait of Hormuz. Just not going anywhere. The conflict's not going anywhere, and when it does, it's still likely to have a lingering or maybe permanent effect that Iran's going to make money off of it. They're going to charge more. They're going to add a premium. That's not going anywhere. If the conflict or war at all ends anytime soon, it could go on for a decade. We've seen this, literally in Iran before. Was it Iraq? I don't know. But unlikely to end, and even if it does, unlikely that it won't have lasting effects. And even if it does and there are no lasting effects, data centers are going to just be built out the ass. Data centers alone have already increased energy costs. I think it's in the Northeast or in the east part of the United States by a significant percent over just 2 years. Energy inflation's going nowhere. Do not be fooled. Labor market, the other side of the coin, if you're praying for cuts, is the thing that is more reasonable here. Unemployment was steady at 4.3, which is healthy and the Fed doesn't view as bad, though I doubt that those numbers are accurate. Payroll gains were low on average, smoothing for weather and strikes. Wage growth slowed to 3.5% year over year. So March figures, 3.5% on PCE. Wage growth at 3.5% year over year. That alone is a problem. If unemployment spikes and the labor market weakens, which I think is almost certainly already happening, I think that all of these numbers are cooked. I think they've been cooked for decades. Unemployment especially. That could be the motivating factor for the Fed to cut. I'm saying that they're closer to a hike, and I think they're more likely to hike than cut, or even that they're going to hike before they cut, like period, no matter what the timeline is. I still believe that. However, the one caveat, the one kink in the wheel can be unemployment. If unemployment comes out and shows the employment market is extremely bad, even if inflation is high, I think the Fed will choose employment over inflation. I don't know though. With Powell leaving, Cherwersh coming in, I'm not as confident in my predictions on the Fed that have been very accurate over the years. We have nailed almost every move by the Fed long before they've made it. So, but it's all about to be mixed up. Let's look at real GDP appeared to have picked up in Q1 after the government shutdown effects faded. Of course, private domestic final purchases grew at moderate pace. Exports were a drag. Net exports were a drag. Moderate foreign growth internationally, strains from the Middle East. Yeah. Staff review of the financial situation, they expected the policy path shifted up modestly due to inflation concerns. That's hawkish. So far, we're seeing pretty hawkish. Broad equity indexes rose, volatility declined. Corporate bond spreads narrowed. Foreign markets swung with conflict news. Dollar depreciated on ceasefire sentiment. Remember, this is from April. Or this is from March. April. Domestic credit conditions remained somewhat restrictive for households and small businesses, but accommodated for large firms. Vulnerabilities in financial stability addressed as notable, especially elevated asset valuations, housing near highs, and leverage in some non-bank sectors, hedge funds, private credit. Staff economic outlook, slightly stronger GDP growth forecast, slightly above potential, supported by AI investment, productivity, and financial conditions. Inflation forecast raised for 2026 due to energy prices and conflict effects. Still expected to return to close to 2% by the end of 2027. Again, so important. This was in April. I would not be surprised to hear almost all this rhetoric 180 based on just the numbers we've gotten this much in March. Because all of this was coming off of months of viewing inflation as cooling or moderating. And then March we got, no, not March. In April we got numbers, not April, God. This month we got PPI at like a multi-year high. There's a lot of considerations going forward. Participants' view on current conditions and the economic outlook. Inflation elevated, moving higher. Energy, tariffs, some IT software prices, supply disruptions. Longer-term expectations stable. Near-term expectations rose. Most saw greater risk that inflation would take longer to return to 2%. I agree. If anything, the data since then has also mirrored that. Labor market appeared to stabilize. Not good if you want cuts. Employment steady. Job gains low but consistent with slow labor force growth. Downside risks to employment noted. Possible AI-related hiring caution. Solid pace expected to continue. Supportive growth supported by AI capital spending, productivity, fiscal policy. Financial conditions. Asset valuations high. That's just a repeat. Almost all participants supported holding the federal funds rate steady. Many judged the current stance was near neutral. Participants, near neutral means they're not going to look for more cuts. Or they're, like looking for one cut. I think it's neutral. Participants wanted more data on Middle East conflict and other factors. A majority now saw risks tilted towards keeping rates higher for longer. Several would have preferred removing easing bias language from the statement. Several preferred to be more hawkish on the FOMC statement. One participant preferred an immediate 25 cut, and I believe they stepped down. I believe it was Mirin or whatever. I believe they stepped down since then. Target range maintained. Almost unanimous, one dissenter. Noted solid economic activity, low job gains, steady unemployment. Highlighted high uncertainty in the Middle East developments, of course. Reaffirmed strong commitment to maximum employment. Future adjustments would, of course, depend on the incoming data outlook and risk balance. Against, Stephen L. 𝐕𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 Did Governor Mayhew step down recently? Let's ask. Pretty sure they did. Overall takeaways from the April FOMC. The minutes portray a committee that is data dependent and patient, as always. Middle East conflict is the dominant near-term risk factor. Energy prices being pushed up and inflation on top of added uncertainty. Growth in labor markets are viewed as resilient for now. None of this points to a cut. None of this. They delayed their forecast for cuts to the end of the year now, if there is a cut. Well, this is April. They all voted, except for the one person who stepped down, to keep the same. They almost all thought it wasn't hawkish enough. They all are pretty much in agreement that the labor force is strong. This is the one crack in the dam. I don't think that's correct. That's the one argument towards cuts, that if we're going to get cuts, it's going to come from there. They all see the 2% target farther out than they did previously. No cut is imminent. The door remains open for firming if inflation proves more persistent, and it certainly has heated up since the FOMC with Governor Stephen Mayhew. The only dissenter looking for a cut in the last meeting has resigned. He resigned May 14th. That was last Thursday. It was only 6 days ago. Mayhew formally submitted his resignation to the Board of Governors. It was effective shortly before Warsh is sworn in. I think maybe someone had to step down for Warsh to come in. I think, maybe. I don't know how that works. I guess that makes sense. You can't just have 14 governors, whatever. Or maybe you can, because they rotate. I don't know. He served a short term. He was only going to be in. Originally, it ended in January of 26. It was widely reported as a planned transition to clear the path for Warsh. Makes sense. In short, yep, happened last week. Mayhew stepped down, the only dissenter. Not looking good for cuts, my friends. Does not look good for cuts. And the reason is that the only way you get to cuts is via a collapsing job market, which is also not good. There's no positive path there. This is about the last meeting. This is about April. Yes, those are the notes. Overall, they were hawkish. They were hawkish. Nothing is pointing to cuts, as we have been talking about, as we know. I'll be real, as we've known. Just doesn't add up. There's nothing there. I'm a million degrees, my friends. We've looked at some bullish charts today. In crypto, we have ZEC, Dash, and Hype looking solid. Bitcoin potentially reversing here for at least interweek. Maybe a return to 79. I would love to see a retest of the 200-day. At the moment, we're facing reality of a rejection from the 200-day. The low from this week holding is a good sign. The 50-day moving average is coming up to support it. We have a golden cross on the daily, estimated by the last day of May or the first week of June. Retaking the 200-day moving average is possible, but has never been done in a bear market. If it does happen, and this is honestly only trading up to about 81 or 82K, if it does happen, it may be the argument that the bear market's over and that the 4-year cycle is not what people assume it is, and that things are different, that they're really different this time. Remaining below it is what probably everybody expects, is probably where the money is right now. That trade's probably more crowded. That we are looking for another leg down. Whatever price you want to look at, doesn't really matter. Another leg down from the 60,000 in February. And a bottom of the bear market sometime in Q4. Probably October, November. I remain hopeful that Bitcoin can retake the 200-day. That it can happen. Something different can happen. but I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm remaining seated in logic. I'm not... we've been through this. We've been through this rodeo on this channel. We've been streaming almost 8 years here. We've seen these cycles play. I have always been super optimistic all the way to the bottom. But sometimes, I would say foolishly so for you guys, right? Like, not just kind of acknowledging reality of we're in a downtrend. And we should be, instead of being bearish, we should just be objectively placing invalidations to looking for the downtrend to continue. And for me, right now, that's 81-ish at the 200-day moving average. If Bitcoin can retake it, trade up even to like 86 or something, have a higher high, the outlook's good. Until then, the outlook's not so great. We'll see what happens, obviously, over the next days. We'll watch the golden cross, it's supposed to be very bullish, on the daily form into the end of May. And we will be doing this together every step of the way. I appreciate you tuning in for the final FOMC minutes for Chairman Powell. Should lock in them 𝐬𝐧 profits. Is it moving down again? It's looking to shake me out. We'll see. My 𝐬𝐧 trade I opened right before the stream was up like single-digit %, then up like 50%. Now probably getting sketchy again. But anyway, I thank you for joining me again. Tune in on Friday at the latest. We'll be live. Jump in the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. It's free. If you sign up with our exchange sponsors or any of the links in there, you will get VIP roles in the Discord. Costs you nothing. They are great exchanges, FEMX and BYDFi. I've worked with them for years. Chat can attest if you ever have an issue. If anything weird happens with any of the exchanges I work with, you can come to me on Discord and I will help you get answers and I'll help you get remedies. That is literally priceless. Nobody offers this. That's my personal touch for you guys. Anyway, I love you all. I need to get out of this heat before I have like a heat stroke. I'm dying. I'm going to go get that air conditioner replaced and we're